Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, this is Somaliland National Television and you're watching the English news program with me, Mohammed Jibril. Here are the stories making main headlines. Vice President of Somaliland reached Edmonton, Alberta. The Governor of Sanaag region held a press conference. Clashes grip Yemeni port city of Aden. Vice President of Somaliland Tue-28-April-2015.kh reached Edmonton in Canada, where he was massively welcomed by the Somaliland diaspora living there. Vice President of Somaliland Tue-28-April-2015.kh reached Edmonton in Canada for work-related purposes, where he was massively welcomed by the Somaliland diaspora living there. Tue-28-April-2015 on his work trip to North America, where he has been holding different meetings with the Somaliland diaspora to elaborate on the current situation of the nation. Vice President Somaliland Tue-28-April held a meeting with the head of the Somaliland diaspora in Edmonton after his escort to the hotel he was staying. The outcomes of this meeting were not open. However, the Vice President, speaking to the reporter of the Somaliland National Television, stated that he was mainly focusing on the ongoing progress in the nation and mostly the current political stability. Members of Somaliland diaspora in Edmonton pointed out their views toward the current situation of Somaliland, which they called very impressive compared to a few years ago. They also stated that it's an honor to have the Vice President in their city. The Somaliland government achieved very fruitful goals, they concluded. The Governor of Sanaag region, Ahmed Abdi Falai, held a press conference in the capital city of Somaliland, Hargeisa, elaborating on the general situation of Sanaag region. Governor of Sanaag region, Ahmed Abdi Falai, held a press conference in the capital of Somaliland, Hargeisa, where he elaborated on the general situation of his region. Ahmed Falai, speaking on the press, mentioned that the peace and stability of the region is on its best state ever, to where the residents of that region hold hands to sustain it. Ahmed Abdi also highlighted the potential disasters of the charcoal consumption and its impact on the citizens residing in that region. The governor, enlarging the role of the government on eliminating this potential disaster, mentioned that there is a binding suit law to prohibit the consumption of charcoal, and outcomes of this law will be applied to the nationwide. This is for the own good sake and the sustainability of the environment, he added. You're still tuned to the English news program on Somaliland National Television, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news program. And now for our international headlines in detail. Fighting has been intensifying in the Yemeni port city of Aden. Supporters of the country's President Abdurrahman Mansour Hadi have been clashing with Houthi rebels. There have also been air raids and naval shelling in some of the most widespread compounds since Saudi-led alliance launched a campaign against the Houthi last month. Residents said Saudi-led aircraft bombed targets in central Yemen and the capital Sana'a on Monday, despite a formal end to the airstrike. Fighting has killed more than 1,000 people since the bombing began last month, according to the UN. The Red Cross is warning the humanitarian situation on the ground is catastrophic. Aid is reportedly being held at Houthis stopping convoys of trucks and by Saudi-led coalition navies searching ships for weapons. 8 million people have been affected by Nepal's devastating earthquake. Up to 10,000 may have killed, according to the country's Prime Minister Shusi Koirala, who has ordered intensified rescue effort and appealed for foreign supplies of tents and medicine. Officially, 4,349 deaths have been confirmed, but figures are expected to rise as the scale of damage in remote rural areas become clearer, with many isolated villages thought to have been totally flattened. If the death toll does reach 10,000, that would be ever higher than 8,500 killed in massive 1934 quake, the Himalayan nation's worst disaster to date. International aid has finally started getting through, but distribution is slow. Relief supplies have been arriving in the capital Kathmandu, including food, medicine supplies and tents, but the authorities are struggling to deliver aid further afield. A crash at the main international airport where relief materials and rescue team are flying in while thousands of residents are trying to leave has slowed the flow of aid. Thousands continue to sleep outdoors amid fears of aftershock in Kathmandu, and elsewhere officials acknowledge they are overwhelmed by the scale of Saturday's disaster. That's all the news we have for you tonight. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.